For my generation, more than any before it, the media shapes our view of both ourselves and the world around us. From the very beginning, GALA recognized the importance of helping students find alternatives for the often narrow vision that the media has of women, especially women of color. But luckily for us, we have a champion who is in a league of her own. Geena Davis is a phenomenal Academy Award-winning actress and the founder of the Geena Davis Institute in Gender and Media. Through its research and advocacy work and the idea that if she can see it, she can be it, the Institute has done the difficult work of changing the way that women and women of color are represented in stories on our screens, as well as working behind camera. We honor Ms. Davis with the 2022 Visionary Award for her pioneering work in helping us picture a future without limits.
Hi, I'm Olivia Liu. I'm a senior here at GALA, and I have the honor of introducing our honoree. Ms. Davis, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Geena Davis. Nice to meet you, Olivia.
It is amazing to be able to sit down with you. I remember watching your movies when I was little, and then I'm reading about the institute that you founded, and it's just mind-blowing everything that you've accomplished.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So just a little bit about me. I am a senior here at GALA, so I am going to college in a couple of months, which is a little scary, but I'm really excited to be double majoring in film and child development at Mount St. Mary's.
Fantastic.
So that combination is just tends to be a little unusual for most people when I explain it, but my dream is to be an animation producer so that I can tackle these taboo subjects that a lot of people avoid because they think children are too young to understand. So things like race and the LGBTQIA plus community and physical disability and neurodiversity, all of that. Right. I am just so excited to really bring that into this industry. And I know that you have also done a lot of work championing diversity and gender equality with your Geena Davis Institute of Gender and Media. Right. So I'm curious about any challenges that you faced as you were founding this institute and as it kept working towards its missions.
Well, data has been the key for us for identifying inequality for female characters in entertainment media, and our solution is to engage and inspire the industry through a combination of our research and interacting with the creators of the media in order to affect the change. The biggest challenge that we've had has been in raising funds to be able to pay for all the research that we want to do.
Yeah, I'm a Girl Scout and I'm doing my own project, so I know how hard fundraising is.
Right.
And then, speaking of all the research and the work that your institute has done, you guys successfully achieved your goals of achieving gender equality in lead characters back in 2019 and 2020. Are there any new goals that you guys are currently working towards or anything you are currently researching?
Well, actually, yeah, we have achieved another goal, which was to have parity for the secondary characters, the other characters in the movie besides the leads, and so we have achieved that in TV shows made for family viewing, and our future goal is achieve equity for all types of female characters, from intersectional female characters, people of color with disabilities, LGBTQIA, older female characters with large body type, all those different categories of underrepresented women.
Yeah, that actually goes into my second question about if you guys are working on anything for women of color, because we have women and we are a marginalized community, but then women of color tend to have their own unique experience. So is there anything else that is specific to that community that you're working on?
Well, yeah, we every research study we do, we include women of color, and so we've conducted a dedicated study also on Black women and girls in Hollywood, and we found that even though Black girls and women are 6.5% of the U.S. population, they're only 3.7% of leads and co-leads. And this has been over the last 10 years, and it has improved in recent years. But here's another thing we need to work on. Only 1 in 5 Black leading ladies had a dark skin tone. They are, and also most of the Black leading ladies in popular films have been depicted with hairstyles that conform to European standards as opposed to natural Black hairstyles.
Your institute actually is the only data-driven and research-driven organization that is working collaboratively in this industry. And I know in a previous interview I saw of you, you talked about how you wanted to go into research because no one believed you when you mentioned the disparity of representation. So just can you talk a little bit more about why you chose to go into research?
Yes. So it was because of my daughter, actually. When she was about 2, I started watching little kids, preschool shows with her and stuff. And from the very first one, I noticed that there seemed to be far more male characters than female characters. And then I noticed it in G and PG rated movies, and I saw it everywhere. And I was so stunned that we would be showing the littlest kids that boys are more important than girls. Because basically, if you have more male characters and they do more interesting things, that's what you're training them. So it's like we're teaching kids from the beginning to have unconscious bias. So I didn't intend to take it this far, but as you said, I talked about it with people in the industry, and I couldn't find one other person who said, "Yes, I know. Isn't that a big problem?" Everybody said, "But that's not true anymore. That's in the past. That's been fixed." And so I thought, well, I'm going to get the data on this because I think I'm right. And if I have it, I can go directly to the creators rather than trying to educate the public or something. I could just go directly to the people making it and try to impact them. And so it proved to be the right tactic to try to make the change, especially because people who make kids entertainment love kids. I mean, almost universally, of course. So they want to do right by them, and they just didn't realize that they were not doing right by girls. So we've been able. That's why we've been able to make so much progress.
Yeah, I think it's really eye-opening when you look at this children's media and you think about how impactful it is, because we're teaching them things. This is why a lot of kids shows, they have themes of friendship and kindness, because we're teaching them things, which is why representation is like even more important than we can really understand. And talking about your research and things that you've discovered, I'm actually doing my own research study this year, because here at GALA, we teach 2 courses that are kind of non-traditional. We have AP Seminar and AP Research. And I spent almost all of my second semester writing a paper on how favoring Eurocentric features in media impacts the mental health of women of color. And I am conducting a content analysis on one of Disney's television shows to analyze how race is represented. And honestly, I think that gives me just so much more respect for all the research that your institute has done, because research is hard.
Yes.
But it reveals so much about this industry, and it shows us like what we've done well and how we can improve and just how we can keep making better media. I'm just curious how this advocacy that you've engaged in, how has it affected your career? And do you ever feel like you need to stay quiet, or like you're being silenced when you're talking about these kinds of topics?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because you can talk about these things without coming across as confrontational. Because for the most part, people are doing it because they're not thinking about it. They didn't think about it, or they have such strong unconscious bias that it didn't occur to them. And so to point these kind of things out is usually very, very accepted. And I've not had any pushback from people, because I'm not going in there saying, "How could you do this? I say, "I know you weren't aware," or "Have you thought of this?" or whatever. So I think there are ways to get it, easily to get across what you're talking about. Now, whether you can convince them to always go as far as they should, that's part of it. But setting a good example yourself, but also just being very encouraging to people, because I think we really do have to face that that a lot of people don't think they have bias. And the fact is we all do, men and women, because we've been trained to by our culture. So in order to rise above it, you have to become conscious that you have bias. And so that's part of the road, I think, for you ahead, is to be the person who reminds people about it. And, it may be that, oh, you're the diversity, and then we go, oh my God, you're the diversity. Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess I am, but anyway, let's do better on this. So, you know what I mean? It's hard for people in this day and age to not say they're for diversity. So anyway, but I'm so impressed by what you're doing and what your goals are. I know you're going to succeed. You have such passion for it. That's great.
Yeah, it is just a really exciting future that since I've been at GALA, I've been able to grow in. Because I remember, like, my freshman year, it was just an idea I had, and I thought it was a crazy idea. Why was I going to go into film? And just every year since I've been here, I've been able to, like, dedicate more time to look into it. And again, with the research I've conducted this year, it has been a lot of work, but it's been really enjoyable, and I've been able to learn so much.
The thing is, once people see something, it becomes normal, and becomes accepted and the norm. So that's what we're trying to accomplish, is have people see accurate representation, or sensible representation, or authentic. And because then people watching it can say, oh, like you said, you don't see people like you. You can say, there I am. Wait a minute, I must matter. You're somebody like me. So that's what's important to us.
Yeah. So, I mean, it has been such an honor to speak with you, because, you're amazing, and just everything that you've achieved and you've worked towards is outstanding. And I love talking about this industry and representation, and you definitely have a unique perspective on it. But there was something that kind of stood out to me when I was watching a couple interviews of you. You spoke about being the tallest girl in your class just all the time. And I was always the tallest girl in my class. And I was like, oh, that's the same thing. I remember in kindergarten, I was taller than the girls and I was taller than the boys. And it's been like that my whole life. And it still kind of is here at GALA. I'm still taller than the rest of my classmates.
Oh,
and you spoke about how, especially when you're younger, you're kind of hyper aware of the space that you're taking up, and you almost want to shrink yourself down a little bit. And I think when you're older, that kind of translates into you're aware of your voice, and you become kind of self-conscious about that. And I definitely experienced that. And I believe that you spoke about it too. But then, you went to go on and have this amazing career. You went on to play a star athlete in a league of our own. You were also a semi-finalist in the US Olympic trials for archery, which is just like, it's like a list of things that you've accomplished, and it's amazing. So is there anything, like any advice or any moment in your life where you were kind of able to emerge from that bit of self-consciousness or those insecurities, and anything you would like to say to, like, the little girls or just anyone else who's watching this?
Well, I love hearing that you're also the tallest. It's a unique position to be in.
Yeah.
Especially also taller than the boys. It was very weird. Yes, I was always quite shy about myself and being so tall and taking up so much space, and I became scared to voice my opinions and all that. And so for one thing, when I stopped growing finally, I was like, okay, I can live with 6 feet. I'm so glad I didn't keep going, So, but yeah, it was really as an adult that I was able to say, okay, all right, now I know what I'm dealing with, and I can live with this. But Yeah, it's just everybody has their thing in high school and growing up, which is equally difficult for them, and so ours happens to be our height, um, but you start to realize that as an adult, that it doesn't. These things don't really matter as much as they seem to in school. In school, it seems for whatever reason, when we're growing up, just by nature somehow our inclination is to judge other people harshly. Or you're different. You're different. That one's different. Maybe it's something in our internal wiring that we say, let's find the different ones and be unkind to them. But it falls away a lot when you're an adult.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is just amazing to hear. And again, you went on and kind of persevered that and then went and did everything that you've done, and you're continuing to work towards all these amazing goals. So, I mean, it's just very nice to hear. And I mean, that's all the questions I have for you today. It has been, again, really amazing to sit down and have this conversation with you.
And with you, thank you. I'm really happy to meet you.
So from everyone here at GALA, we are so excited to award you the Visionary Award for everything that you have done with diversity and just inclusion in media.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm very honored. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you.